going on, guys? Aidan here, and I'm bringing you an updated Traptrix deck list. It's been a while. This is probably one of my favorite decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, mainly just because not only are you capable of setting up back row, you know, having like Sarah Rafflesia, Redoer all on board, you can also Sanctum your opponent on their turn, pretty much just stop what they're trying to do, and then the following turn you just OTK them with Utopia Double. So it's probably one of the back row decks with a higher kill ceiling, just because you can get to that very easily. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the profile. First off, I'm running 3 Dionea. Dionea is pretty much your quote-unquote combo card. You use her to summon a Traptrix from grave, usually. Sometimes you will get the effect of her special summon to set a trap hole from grave. There have been instances where I actually reset grave hole off of her, and those instances I usually use that to allow me to ensure that Utopia Double goes through, assuming they don't have something like Imperm. So she's top 3 for sure. Of course, there are only 3 good Traptrix in the deck. So Myrmelio is the other one. Myrmelio just searches your trap holes, and of course I'm running 3 of her. So she searches your whole normal traps, and when she summons, she pops a spell or trap on the field, which is a mandatory effect. If people tell you that it is not, it says in the card text, if this card is special summoned, target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. There's not a you can there, which means that is a mandatory trigger effect. So just remember that, in case anyone tries to rule shark you on that. Then I'm running 3 Mantis. Searches monsters, can protect the back row by resetting stuff, also triggers Sarah. Usually you want to use her for protected purposes most of the time. If I open Mantis or Myrmelio and I open the Brig combo, I'll usually summon Mantis off of Sarah and then use her effect, just so I get both of them in grave. Because I don't want to, you know, summon another Myrmelio and just have 1 Myrmelio in deck for later turns. Then I'm running an Traptrix, because this is an out to Dinko. In Battlefield, you just run over Dinko. Also, it allows you to use your normal traps, normal hold traps from your hand, and your normal trap cards can't be negated. If you can call out the Ash or something like that, and you have Traptrix on board, and you got Sanctum ready, then they won't be able to Ash the Sanctum. Gravehole gives the deck a lot better of a way to do that kind of interaction, but I just really like the fact that Traptrix gives the deck a kind of a beat stick normal summon, while also being able to protect your main, you know, playmakers. Then I run 1 Nepenthes. It kind of sucks to open her. I usually summon her off of Sarah, just so I can get the plus off of her whenever I activate a whole normal trap. Usually I'll use her to summon like Myrmelio, or I'll add Dionea from deck to hand, so she's pretty good. And then moving on from the Traptrix line, I run 3 Exceed. Exceed is kind of mandatory. I really don't like running 3, because there are times when I open 2 and then just nothing. Like, it's booty cheeks, as I like to say. But kind of have to. Running 2 is just not mathematically correct. And I don't run Jinlicia, because that card is hot garbage. That card is actually horrible. Too slow, way too slow. Nepenthes is a faster card than Jinlicia, honestly. Then I'm running 1 Scythe. I kind of want to run more of an artifact package, just because I feel like this is a, oh, you just win card. Because every game I've ever gotten this out, usually I just Utopia Double next turn, and they're just like, well, okay, game 2. Yeah, then on to the spells and traps. I'm running Double or Nothing for Utopia Double, obviously. And I'm running 3 Compulse. I kind of want to cut one of these and then cut my Lost Winds for Imperms, just because Imperm allows the deck to kind of go second in a way. It really helps you for trying to get through stuff. Like an established Appaloosa, you can use the Imperm for that, so that your Myrmelio or something can resolve. The only bad thing about it is that it shuts off Brigandine, which, in the current meta, I think that's okay. Traptrix kind of struggles a little bit in the current meta. 3 Judgment, mandatory. If you don't run Judgment in main, you are making a grave mistake, because this deck quite literally runs no actual negations, and if your opponent happens to have something like Twisters, or Cosmic Cyclone, or Lightning Storm, or Reboot, or whatever have you, this card is going to save your butt. If you do not run this card, I can confirm that you are going to have worse off times with people that are using going second decks, or decks that main a lot of disruption like Salamangreat or Eldritch. And then I run 3 Brigandine, mandatory, you know, pretty much Sarah's best friend, yeah. And then I'm running 2 Traptrix for my Sanctums and for whatever traps I may need at the time. Sometimes I use it in battle phase when they try to hit over Sarah after I've exhausted my resources, and I go for Storming, so. And I run, for the trap holes, I run 2 Floodgate. Pretty much the best trap hole we have at the moment, aside from Grave Hole and Bottomless. Speaking of which, 1 Gravedigger, 1 Bottomless. I kind of want to change this out for another Grave Hole, but it comes up in weird scenarios where Floodgate just doesn't hit anything. So I'm not too sure what to do with this ratio right here. This is more of just like a hand trap thing for me, honestly, but then I'm running 2 Sanctum, because you just win if it resolves, or you at the very least get a turn. The amount of times I've actually gone into Scythe Beatdown in 1 is kind of crazy. And then 2 Lost Wind, I would really want to change this out for Imperm. But, you know, hopefully, if or when we get the structure deck, hopefully they reprint Imperm as a common in that. Stormduster, my main reason for playing this was because of other back row decks in the format, namely things like Eldritch, Altergeist, Guru, and then also if I draw into the Scythe I can always just pop it with this. But honestly, I kind of don't like it as much anymore, just because it doesn't seem as useful. At least right now, it just doesn't have it isn't as explosive against Geist and Eldritch and all of those other back row decks that we're having to deal with right now. 2 Storming, pretty much just a way to say, hey, you're not going to attack me. Because if you do, you're going to lose everything. Unless you have something in defense position, which, you know, it's more likely now in MR5, but it's whatever. It's a good side-out card, too, so. And then Imperial Order is the last trap. Moving on to the extra deck, I'm running 2 Sarah. I only run the 2 Sarah. I've said this plenty of times, but I only run 2 Sarah because if you need the third one, you're likely going to lose that game. Then 1 Security Dragon. There's a cool interaction where you can use this underneath Sarah, and you can bounce the Kaiju that you give them, games 2 and 3, to your hand, and then you can use the Kaiju again, so. And then you can just Utopia double right over it. It's pretty cool. Then Pentastag for Floodgate, Utopia double OTK. Link Spider because Brig plus Exceed is full combo, but also not really. Kind of sucks to open that, but if you don't pull a Traptrix, you know, you kind of have to run this, or else you're not doing anything. Ultimate Falcon, because I run Waking, obviously, inside. Utopia the Lightning. Rafflesia, because Grave Hole's actually a great pitch off of her. You can establish her with the Brigandine or Exceed combo for Sarah, and keep your Sarah or your Sanctum safe with her. If you're also running the generator stuff, you can use the Gravehole to protect your boss fight or your boss stage so that they resolve. Then I run 1 Tornado Dragon for back row, 1 Allomerus. In instances where Utopia Double isn't going to happen, this card has actually allowed me to OTK through those boards. And not to mention, you can establish her against certain decks, and using like Bottomless or something, you can actually yank that monster. So like, for example, against Orchist, if they try to summon back the Ding and they're going to send using its effect, or they're going to attach using its effect, you can just Bottomless and then get rid of it, summon it to your field, and then use its effect to send something they control. Utopia Double, Utopia, self-explanatory, 10k, and they die. Dweller, because this card literally just shuts out Shaddoll Invoked. It makes Eldritch have a hard time. Zombies, whatever grave deck. Baguska literally just wins you the game against Emancipator, and also really hurts Shaddoll, and just any other deck like Dino, anything like that. Also Necroz, for when Dragma Necroz is a thing. Oh, and Infernoble Knights. That card is really good against Infernoble Knights. Then Redoer, because Brigandine under Redoer is pretty solid. Not to mention you get to just take material from your opponent's deck every turn. You can draw off of it, you can bounce off of it, you can banish itself to avoid things. So yeah, it's pretty much a staple at this point in this deck. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you guys want some combo videos or whatever have you for this deck, just leave a comment down in the video, and I'll try to get that out for you guys. Yeah, see ya.